One.
What it do, baby?
Welcome back to The Truth with Bruce and Banny. Episode 13. Well, you know what we do. We do nothing but spit straight facts. We're out here in studio. That didn't roll off real naturally, but we're in studio. Maybe one of our last episodes in studio, at least for a while. I'm moving on Friday. Moving to Stillwater, Oklahoma. I'll be starting at Oklahoma State. So getting going now, and yeah, we're gonna try and figure it out. We'll see where the pod goes from here, but we're definitely gonna try and alternate weeks or something. We will be off next week as I start classes on Tuesday, and I'm trying to move in this weekend. So there's gonna be a lot of stuff going on. So certainly, it's kind of a hectic time. But we will persist, and we will keep making episodes, especially throughout the playoff time. We're gonna try and do as little virtual episodes as possible. But yeah,
virtual episodes are the worst.
We're all starting new stuff. Yeah, we learned that on my trip, man. Especially with that delay. That was a brutal episode. If you can go on our YouTube and please dislike that episode, we would appreciate that.
It has like 12 views.
Yeah, real quick, while I was saying, just keep looking out for us on Twitter. We're consistently growing on Twitter. Our YouTubes are getting good views, so be sure to go over to YouTube and subscribe as well.
Yeah.
And also, this will be available on all podcast platforms. Spotify and Apple being the main ones, but yeah, just keep looking out for us, and yeah, we got a lot of different stuff going on, huh?
Some international love on the YouTube, especially.
Definitely seems to be some potential international bots, but you know,
is it fraudulent? Potentially,
we'll take the real views. We'll take maybe not real views.
You know, views are views. We haven't provoked these bots. We get some interesting comments on some of our videos. If you want to go check those out, it's up to you.
It's definitely not a negative thing, but yeah, a lot of new stuff going on. So I'm moving, and then you're moving out, trying to find your own place right now.
Yep, right now, me and E Sticky the Prod, shout out E Sticky. We're out trying to find a place to live, man. So as Bryce is doing his stuff, trying to find a place to live, you know, there's stuff going on the other half of the truth as well. Interestingly enough, so it's stressful all around, but like we said, we're gonna work through it. The show must go on, of course, and so yeah. But next week is definitely taking a rest week. It's gonna be weird not talking about the playoffs and stuff. I think maybe we can get some tweets out during that time just to stay active.
Yep,
but
for sure.
But yeah, next week is off, and after that, it's gonna be the last episode in the studio. And so
yeah, so for now we'll be talking about Super Wildcard Weekend as well as the divisional round, just because we won't be on next week, but like Aiden said, we'll make sure to get some tweets out and everything. Yeah, like I said, just keep checking us out on social media, and moving into the show, NFL playoffs. Super Wildcard Weekend was an incredible
one. Why do you keep doing that? All right,
Super
I love it.
Wildcard Weekend.
I like it.
It was incredible. It was a great weekend of football.
It's the best.
I love when you can watch every game all the way through, not have to multitask.
Dude, okay. Before we get started, let's talk about how incredible the 7-man playoff is. I say we keep it forever. The 3 games on Saturday and Sunday, the best. It needs to. I mean,
for sure.
It's just like.
Then there'll be 4 games next week.
The 4 games. Oh my God!
It was in every slot. Every hour slot was filled.
Perfect, bro. And all the games besides the Saints and Bucks were very watchable.
Besides the Bears and Saints, yeah.
What did I say?
Saints and Bucks.
Oh, okay. Saints Bears. That's what I meant.
I will tell you, we'll get into it, but there was a very interesting way to watch that game. Shout out Nickelodeon, but we'll get into that a bit later. But yeah, Super Wildcard Weekend was awesome. I definitely say we'll keep the format. First game,
Bills-Colts
was an amazing game.
It wasn't an amazing game.
I think a lot of people saw this coming because the Colts defense has been playing great.
We both did. We both said we thought this was going to be a great game.
We both got this. So me and Aiden both went 4-2. I lost.
You picked the Seahawks over the Rams.
I picked the Seahawks over the Rams.
I also did, and then you picked the Titans over the Ravens, and I picked the Steelers over the Browns.
Yep.
So we both went
4-2. Pretty good week. But yeah, we'll be making picks for next week as well. But it was a great week of football, like I said. But this game was amazing.
Dude,
and I just felt so bad at the end, man. You knew when Phil got the ball back. They were not going to win. They got the ball back with like 3 minutes left, and he made it 40 yards, and then he could not throw it to the end zone.
That was embarrassing. You felt bad for him, but I mean, throughout the whole game, the Colts had a real shot. I mean, the Bills should not have gone into halftime winning this game. A lot of weird stuff.
The Colts should have scored too.
No, seriously, and so the Bills kind of came back to life a little bit. I think they had been playing out of their minds the past 3-4 weeks, but they did come back to life and look human again. But yeah, this was a great game. I really do think that this game shows, if anything, that the Colts are a quarterback away. I mean, really.
Yeah, I'd like to see them, like we said last week, get Stafford in there.
Not that Rivers isn't serviceable, but I mean, if they just had someone a little more juicy,
somebody you don't have
to
take out when you want to throw the ball deep.
Literally, I thought they should have gone with Brissett there and just let him chuck it.
Yeah, let him chuck it.
Phillip wasn't making it.
Yeah, man, it was tough to watch them fall like that, but
they could not go that far in 3 minutes.
The Bills are legit, and it shakes up the playoff. It shakes up everything when the lowest seed loses, because it just changes where everybody's playing. Because if the Colts would have won, they would have been playing the Chiefs coming off of a hot victory. That would have been a tough game, but instead the Bills are the 2 seed.
Bills are the 2.
It runs through them until they get to Kansas, until they get to the conference championship, and then.
So this was a great game. I think me and Bruce both expected it to be a great game. It absolutely lived up to that hype.
For sure.
Game afterwards, big time shocker. Rams 30, Seahawks 20.
Yep, slept through this one.
I think it's time to have a Russ combo.
I think it's time to have a Pete Carroll combo.
I think it's time to have a both combo. So I think maybe it's time to start talking about if Russell Wilson is legitimately overrated. And so I'm a person, when it comes to players, sports, all this stuff, I need to see a whole lot from a person to move them considerably up and down rankings. I generally stay pretty true to my rankings. I don't usually like to sway from them until I see a lot. Like Josh Allen. Josh Allen has proved that he is elite. He skyrocketed up the rankings. I never really swayed on Lamar too hard. I kind of pounded that he was in that fringe
I'm
top.
an absolute what have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
Numbnut sports fan, which I'm okay with.
I mean, no, but most
makes it more exciting.
95% of people are. But I think when Lamar was struggling, I was still saying he's going to be fine. He's fringe top 5, which he still is. I think it's time to start talking about moving Russ down the list, because he's 1-5 in his last 5 playoff games. 1-5 in his last 6 playoff games, I meant. He hasn't really done anything. He's thrown to really good receivers. Pete Carroll, you want to talk about? I mean, he's basically known as a good coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
typically
he's definitely a good coach. I don't think he's the full problem, but man, that they're just after the. I mean, they're one of the best defenses in the decade, and since the Legion of Boom's been gone, the Seahawks have really struggled.
This has been but this was ugly too, though.
Yep.
The Rams have a really good defense, but this was literally 4-fingered Jared Goff in a not so high powered Rams offense.
How about the Rams starting Wolford and literally benching Goff because Goff could obviously play.
I mean, there's no way, but
because Wolford left in a. He left in
he was shook up, yeah.
In an ambulance.
Yeah.
Crazy. This game, not that exciting.
Not that exciting.
Not even as close as it looks on here.
It was way worse.
Defense is
The
unbelievable.
Rams beat the shit out of them.
The Rams' best defense by far this year, I would say.
You think?
The combination of Michael Brockers,
the Rams,
Jalen Ramsey.
Oh my God.
Aaron Donald.
Oh my God. Me and Bruce were having this conversation earlier of there's I think we both named 4 players, defensive players that we think are transformative, and it was Aaron Donald.
You named them, yeah.
Jalen Ramsey, Derwin James when healthy. He's hard to put in there, but we know how dynamic he is when healthy. And then Myles Garrett, right? Those are the 4 where it's
and 2 of them are on one team.
And 2 of them are on one team, and you could argue those are the 2 best.
Yep.
Ramsey is so unreal, bro. And people were said he wasn't even top 5 and stuff last year because I don't really know why, but maybe it was a scheme deal.
Also, sometimes when these players get paid, you kind of see them dip down a bit because they're kind of content, and then he got paid and he's only been better.
In terms of pure intangibles and talent, when it comes to cornerbacks, I've never seen anything like it. He's big, he's so physical, he's so fast.
And he locked down DK
3 times. 3 times.
3 games.
Yeah. He's
6 total.
He's elite, and we're going to talk about the Rams-Packers later. But yeah, a big topic of that discussion is going to be Ramsey versus Devontae Adams and how that's going to play out.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
But yeah, in terms of that, game was not as close as it seemed. Not a lot of people saw it coming, including myself. I picked the Seahawks. We both did. But Rams with a big time win, so shout out to them.
All right. Yep. That was a decent game, but definitely looking for the Rams to do more. have a better game next week. Not a better game, but it'll be a better
Being
game.
a better opponent.
Definitely a better opponent. And we'll be interested to see what the Seahawks do in the offseason.
This next game
was incredible. I thought it was going to be incredible. We
talked about on the pod how we thought it was going to be. Well, actually, you said that you thought that the Bucs were going to win by 21. So, but I said I thought it'd be a great game.
It was awesome.
And
Heineke,
I got to admit,
Heineke has a backup job for life.
Hey, the truth is officially a Taylor Heineke stand pod.
Taylor Heineke,
we love Taylor Heineke. We would love to have you on, obviously. But dude, so when it got announced that Alex Smith wasn't playing, I was so mad, bro. I was heated, man, because I had just been pounding Washington football team. I'm like, dude, they've been clicking on offense more. I know Smith can't move. I know he's dealing with a calf thing, but the defense is good enough to get to Brady. And but dude, and Heineke comes in. He's like, F that. He's like, I'm gonna make our offense dynamic.
Yep.
Comes in, makes some insane plays. I mean, he's just playing with massive nuts.
Yeah, and
bro.
he was like the fifth string quarterback, COVID quarterback coming into the year.
I mean,
and he went to, I believe, like Old Dominion, came in, played awesome, looked great. And
he looked so good.
He has a backup job for 10 years.
I hope. I really do hope Washington keeps him around and at least gives him a shot to battle it out next year.
No chance.
I hope they do. I mean,
nobody will be talking about him as a potential starter in a week.
That's sad though. But I mean, he's their best option as of now. Whether they sign someone or draft someone,
back just because I think he's going to be a great mentor to a young quarterback.
Never step on a field again. He's going to die.
Really?
But
I think you put him in there and have him in the Patrick Mahomes situation where he kind of.
See that? Yeah, technical difficulty, but it's okay.
The battery's dead? No, leave it running.
Yeah.
Sorry this part doesn't have video, but we're going to keep rolling. But definitely a better game than anticipated. And
it was awesome.
One of the best games. It was my favorite game of
the
the
whole United States of America was Washington football team fans. The whole America.
Yes. I was watching with some of my buddies because, NFC Beast, got to support. It was great. Loved it. All right, there's a couple more games this weekend. The morning game on Sunday. Ravens 20, Titans 13.
Awesome game.
It was a good game. Not as high scoring as anybody expected.
I usually don't love defensive games. This was an awesome game, and the Lamar slander has officially ended.
I wouldn't say that. I think the stigma. I always hated the stigma of he hasn't made a playoff game because.
He hasn't won one.
He hasn't won a playoff game because the dude's literally 23.
To be fair, he not only lost, he looked like actually incompetent in his other playoff losses.
I think getting that monkey off your back is always big.
And just by his play style, it was bound to get some slander and stuff. But
I think he's going to get deuced on next weekend, but definitely a good game from them. Really? We'll talk about that later, but definitely a good game from them. And happy to see him win the game. And the Titans have a great roster.
No slouch of a team, man. It was one of those like tooth and nail, hard fought games.
Loved it. Definitely loved it.
Yeah.
Great game. Now the game of the week, the Nickelodeon slime game.
I loved it.
In MVP Mitch, the Nickelodeon valuable player, Mitchell Trubisky. I think because some people got it trending on Twitter, he wins the MVP.
Did you watch it on Nick?
Yeah, dude, it was awesome.
Did you? I watched it on whatever was on Fox or CBS. I was watching with my parents.
They had a slime zone, and then whenever they kicked the field goal, kicked extra points, the goalpost turned.
I saw a bunch of the clips on Twitter, dude. I low-key didn't mind it.
And they were doing like impersonations, and they had like a.
The kids announcing was too much. I didn't like that.
They didn't have kid announcing. They just had a sideline reporter that was like 14. And then young Sheldon would just pop up and give you some nerdy stats and like explain the rules whenever something happened. I think they're just trying to expand to the kid market, but I thought it was awesome. I need a game on Nick.
Who doesn't?
I need a game on Nick every weekend.
I'd be all right with it,
but it has to be like the worst game. I want to watch. I want to watch Jaguars Panthers on Nick. I want to watch. I want to watch Jets Cowboys on Nick.
Maybe that's not
Cowboys
bad.
Eagles on Nick.
Some Falcons.
I want to watch Nate Sudfeld.
Okay.
Versus Sam Darnold on Nickelodeon. They had like a.
I don't want to watch that on anything. But
no, I didn't want to watch this game on anything.
That's
true.
But
on Nick, made it like 10 times better.
That's true.
Loved it, man.
Loved it.
Super weird, but definitely an interesting concept, and I think they're trying to get some kids into it. But man, the Bears are in a bad situation for the offseason.
What do they do? What do you do? So
I think you might keep Nagy one more year, but you fire Ryan Pace and you don't allow Mitch to be on your roster next year.
I mean, I think Mitch is probably going to walk. Maybe Foles stays in a backup situation. Maybe
they can barely draft a quarterback. I mean,
they're in the playoffs, so they're drafting in a low slot. So
they're
they're
trade for they're trying to trade for Matt Ryan.
They're not really going to get anyone good, so they're kind of just in no man's land. Because I mean, not only is the roster it's already not good, and it's going to get worse because Anthony Miller, he's a scrub. He's probably bust. Probably going to get traded. A-Rob's walking. The defense is growing older with big contracts.
Yep.
It's just not an ideal situation. They're in ultimate no man's land.
Honestly, though, them keeping those guys on, it's just they're just basically, unless they shock the nation next year, they're just holding it off for a year because it's going to happen next year. Yeah. They're going to fire Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy.
I think the only right thing to do is just maybe not an entire rebuild, but you gotta. I don't think Matt Nagy's bad. I think he won as many games as he could with Trubisky, and he's been to the playoffs 2-3 times.
Yeah. Also, some coaches just change situations. We haven't talked yet. Doug Peterson did get fired.
Yeah.
He's gonna get scooped up this week.
Yeah.
I mean, it's those.
I think
Nagy would get scooped up.
I think Nagy's a guy that deserves a second chance. I believe.
But his first chance wasn't even bad. I think he was dealt a bad. I mean,
he's the worst hand.
Who can you do with? I wouldn't say the worst hand, but
it's pretty bad.
You're given a 30.
I mean, he was a double doink away from winning a playoff game.
Well, that's true, but you're given a $20 million quarterback that can't move in the pocket.
Yeah.
No offensive line, and then a quarterback at the end of his rookie contract that's mobile enough but bad, and then literally one receiver and an aging defense.
Yeah.
One of the best defenses we've seen, but a defense wasted at the end of the day.
I mean, a defense can't be good when they're always on the field.
Yeah,
but it's impossible.
But that defense their prime was wasted on that team.
Yeah. Well, because of Trubisky. And
Yep.
I mean, he's developing, and I don't think he's the worst ever, but he certainly isn't good. Never gonna really do anything,
I like your take and put him in San Francisco.
No, I still think in the right situation he can succeed, and I think we saw that to an extent in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
But he's definitely one that's going to need all the help in the world.
For sure. All right, moving on. The last game of the weekend was a great game. It's one of those classic games where a team gets up big, plays conservative, and the game looks closer than it ever was.
Yeah, this was an ass whooping.
Browns 48, Steelers 37, Cleveland.
They did it.
Cleveland, this is for you. Shout out LeBron. He baby brawned the entire Browns franchise because he is a fan of every sports team. He loves the Dodgers. He loves the Rams. He loves the Cowboys. He loves the Yankees. He loves every team.
It's kind of weird.
The Browns.
I mean, congratulate another NBA team. I wonder if he's going to congratulate the Nets when they win.
Not going to happen.
Shout out Brooklyn.
We'll talk about that in a minute. But this was a great game by the Browns, a great game plan. My guy Steve Stefanski wasn't coaching.
Oh, dude, did you see where he had no contact, was just sitting in his basement by himself?
Yeah, I mean, he had to.
Literally.
They basically said you can't have contact.
That is insane. I don't really know what the point of that is. I don't really get it. I wish someone would explain it to me.
I think it's just the technology rules that
they don't
they've
want,
had.
they don't want interference and shit.
Alex Van Pelt called a great game. I believe, honestly, the first quarter was probably Stefanski's scripted plays, and that won them the game.
It had to be.
And their defense honestly won them the game. 5 turnovers.
I mean, dude, the first play of the game, Mo Pouncey just snaps it through the end zone.
That's sad though, because I love the Pounceys, and
the Pounceys are fine, but
yeah,
it just was an absolute
I think it's
shit
his
show
last
from the
game.
start
I
time.
think it's his last game.
I mean, it's
and Big Ben
rough.
Retire. Okay,
I think Big Ben's got to retire. He's
I don't
also
think he's
paid.
going to, but
he's also got a $40 million cap hit next year. So the Steelers are kind of screwed for a team that has a decent roster and a great defense. They're kind of screwed. Let's talk about how terrible the Steelers wide receivers are. We hate the Steelers. The truth hates the Steelers. We hate them. We hate the wide receivers. They're cursed.
Corvette.
AB lost his mind. We're going to give him a little bit of exception.
I don't even want to talk about AB. I want to talk about Claypool and Juju.
Claypool.
First
the
Browns
of all,
are going to get clapped next week. Well, why
Claypool
don't you
goes on IG Live and said, "Oh, we don't care. The Browns. The Browns are going to get clapped next week."
By the way, not IG Live, TikTok Live. Even worse.
Oh my God, you're right.
Even worse.
And Juju won't even admit that the Browns aren't the same old Browns anymore. And he's Corvetting. I mean, it's just a meme, bro. And it's just like this. Juju's gonna walk. He's got to.
But they just
the Steelers cannot get him
say,
back.
We're just showing our personality. Well, it seems like
Dude,
her
when it's-
personality is being immature because people are like, don't like understand athletes like wanting to have control of their careers, and that's great, and they're building a brand.
But when it's having
at
a
the same
negative
time,
impact on
yeah,
literally everything, it's
affecting
making
their
you a
careers.
meme. It's
Yeah.
affecting Juju's not going to get paid in free agency like he would have because of all this shit.
It's definitely partially
People are
because of
starting
that,
to dislike Claypool because of this shit, including me.
but also because he's had a bad year. Not Claypool, Juju has
Juju.
not had a great year.
I mean, he's gotten like for the most part, like
Claypool's had a great year, but what type
outshined
of
by Claypool and Deontay.
Yeah,
Juju has.
Juju's had or Claypool's had a good year, but what type of competitor goes out and says something?
That made me so mad, and like it sucks because I mean, obviously the Browns coming to Kansas City, like that's just like you don't want people to say that shit. Like you want,
Yep.
especially it's like he plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like why are you painting a target on the Chiefs' back?
Yeah.
Like for what?
All right, real quick,
Makes
I gotta be
no
honest.
sense.
I gotta be honest. The culture is messed up.
In
and
Pittsburgh,
Tomlin
it
might
is.
be somewhat to blame at this point.
He's got to put a stop to it. He's got to just bring the guy.
They're gonna a lot of Steelers fans want him gone because
Maybe it's the only way.
he let the left thing happen. He didn't let it happen, but that happened under his control. AB happened under his control, and all this BS that's happening.
If I'll put it
all
this way,
under his
if I was a Steelers fan, I would hate this team.
Oh,
'Cause
I know plenty of Steelers fans that literally, when they were 11-0, said this team sucks.
Yeah, but like even then, like it's just like, bro, like they're just so hard to like.
Yep.
They're so hard to like, bro. Like the culture's messed up. They don't go play football. They're loud. They're obnoxious. They're on social media dancing on other logos.
Corvette,
Like, to the point where Tomlin has to get involved when Tomlin shouldn't have to deal with that shit. And it's just like, I don't know what they do because Claypool is such a good player. But I mean, if it's not Tomlin and Juju's gonna leave, I mean, you don't want Claypool to be the next Juju.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
It's just the culture is messed up there. I'm interested to see what happens.
It's
in the
100% a
offseason.
culture problem, and I don't know what they're gonna do about it because it doesn't. Tomlin is such a good coach, bro.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem right to let go of him because he would get a contract in probably 10 minutes.
Oh no, yeah.
Like
Anywhere.
actually, literally
Anywhere wants
anywhere. Like 25 teams would take him, probably more.
Teams would, like when the Browns were struggling, they were trying to trade for him. Like when they fired Hugh Jackson, they were literally trying to trade players for him. Like the what's his face?
Who?
When the Raiders coach, when he went to Tampa.
Gruden?
Yeah, when Gruden got traded. You can get traded for players. It's a real thing.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
What do you think Andy could haul?
I don't know, man. A bunch of
He's
firsts
old.
and a bunch
He's
of
old.
Okay, but Bill Belichick was traded for a first-round pick
Yeah. So
after
true.
he was the Jets coach for 3 days. Shout
Yeah.
out.
I don't know. I just hate the Steelers, and I didn't used to hate the Steelers. Honestly, I hate the Steelers, bro. I hate them.
It's unfortunate. We'll see what happens with them in the offseason. This week's games, we're so excited for this week's games. We got a great slate.
4 games.
My cables, I don't have cable, but my internet's getting installed Saturday morning, so I'm hoping to be able to watch some of these games while I'm moving in. But first game, Rams-Packers. We're not going to go too much into it. We just talked a lot
More
about
predictions.
the teams, but we're going to more talk about our predictions and why we think. I think the Packers win this pretty big time. I think this
How
is
many?
the
Like
best.
17-ish.
Yeah, close to 20.
Yeah.
I think this is one of the best defenses definitely
Rodgers has
this
had.
year. One of the best defenses Rodgers has played against, especially what they're going to do to DT. But
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers is playing at another level. I think the Packers at least make it to the NFC Championship with ease.
Yeah, so I think I'll take the Packers, and that's my prediction, but I think it can be close. It's going to depend. The games it's going to depend on 2 things. It's going to depend on Jared Goff's health, and it's going to depend on Jalen Ramsey versus Devontae Adams. If Jalen Ramsey's going to go out there and he's going to put on an insane performance and he's going to hold Devontae Adams to 2 catches for 13 yards, probably not going to happen. It's probably going to be more like 7 for 64 on a touchdown. But if Devontae Adams is eliminated from this game, the Rams can absolutely win.
Yeah.
Because the Packers don't have enough firepower outside of him. If Ramsey takes away Devontae Adams, if he does that, first of all, he's the best corner in football, and I don't want to hear any other argument against that. If that happens on this game. Second of all, if Goff can stay healthy and throw a football with any sort of accuracy, I think the Rams have a chance. But other than that, I think Devontae probably doesn't get clamped because he's arguably the best receiver in football, and I got Pack probably by 7 to 10.
Yeah, I want to take them big time just because I think this is a game this is a big statement game rolling into the NFC Championship versus the Bucs, where they lost big time last time. Next game we got from the AFC, Ravens Bills.
This is gonna be a great game, bro.
I agree. I think the Bills hang on.
Really?
I think they win by like 3.
Really? I'm gonna go game of the year. Give me Lamar and the Ravens by 1, maybe in overtime. Obviously, 1 in overtime is impossible, but
that was just so stupid.
Maybe not 1 in overtime.
We'll go with the Jacob Unruh. It's gonna end in a tie.
Yeah, it's gonna end in a tie. No, I think it's gonna be an awesome game. I think Ravens win by 1 or it goes into overtime. I think it's just a classic game. I think Lamar gets it done. I think Allen and the Bills, obviously so fun. I think they're a year away from being true like Super Bowl. I think they cooled down last week. I think Lamar and the Ravens are rolling. I'm going to take them, but it's going to be a classic.
Yeah, I don't want to underestimate the loss of Zach Moss, for one, because I think he's out for the rest of the playoffs, and he's been like their big-time goal line back, which getting in the end zone obviously is huge.
Yeah, Singletary sucks.
He's serviceable. He's good in the passing game. They don't use him that much.
Slow.
They don't use him that much.
He's
slow
just
and he's
good.
small, but they don't use him much.
Kind of like Clyde.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quit with that. People got to have a chance to prove themselves, in my opinion. But I think you can't underestimate that loss. But other than that, they're firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
Their defense has been playing good as of late. They had a big goal line stand against the Colts before halftime.
Yep. Changed the game.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, I think that won them the game there.
Yeah, it might have.
Josh Allen just has an absolute hose. So I think the Bills just narrowly hang on to this game, but I definitely think it's a good game.
Give me a score, like a 34-31 or something in that. Maybe a 31-28.
I'm going to go, I'll go, let me think. I'm going to go 31-28.
31-28.
I like that.
That's solid.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what happens in this game. Very excited about it. It's definitely, in my opinion, the best game of the weekend. Here's another great game coming up. We got
Tampa, New Orleans.
Tampa versus New Orleans.
So this is New Orleans has absolutely pistol whipped Tampa twice now.
I think it's just that Tom Brady thing where there's no way it happens.
It is the
again.
Tom Brady thing. There's
no
way
it happens again.
And dude, and New Orleans is favored in this game. I just feel like it's not going to happen. I just feel like I truly feel like in my heart there's no way Tom Brady loses to the same thing 3 times, especially with how they've been rolling, bro.
The Tampa break you Gronkaneers. I love them, man.
I think me and you are higher on the Bucs than most people, but
man,
it's Tom, bro.
And
he's magical.
Yeah.
That son of a bitch is magical.
Yeah.
And I hate him more than anyone on the planet. You know I do. He's like bottom 5 for me that are currently living.
I don't hate him, obviously. Not a AFC person.
Yeah.
But I think that this is gonna be a good game.
Oh, it's gonna be a great game. It's gonna be a great game.
A lot of it, I think, rests on the shoulders of Kamara. With Drew in the lineup, the Saints are such a different team when Kamara plays good. And guess what? Taysom Hill, you're a gadget player. If you come in and you turn over the ball like you have like 5 times this season,
he's such a fraud.
You're useless. So don't.
He's such a fraud. Yeah, this is gonna be a classic. I think this is just gonna be an absolute banger of a game. I'll watch every second of it. I'll go Tampa Bay very close.
I'm gonna go Tampa Bay 28-21 or
24,
we'll go
27. Go 28-27.
No, I'm gonna go 31-27.
Okay.
31-27 Tampa Bay.
Okay.
All right, final game.
Chiefs, Browns.
Okay, as you guys know, real quick, Aiden's a Chiefs fan. I'm a Chiefs fan, Aiden. But
it sucks.
My playoff team, because you know what? The Cowboys suck. Fatface Mike sucks. We just hired Dan Quinn.
You think they'll fire him?
No, they won't. Not this offseason.
So stupid.
It'll be another 5 years because Jerry views him as a son.
Jerry's got to go.
Anyways.
Staying at his house and stuff. We've talked about that.
That was weird.
Sleepover,
man.
It's like Tampa or Tom and AB. It's some weird stuff going on.
No. AB just doesn't. He probably just has like bad credit or something. He's just teammates looking out for each other.
Okay. Okay.
I think it's different than an 80-year-old man and
no,
a
that's creepy.
55-year-old man.
100%.
All right. Anyways, Aiden's a Chiefs fan. As a poverty Cowboys fan, the Browns have been one of my saving graces all year because I made a bold prediction the first week of the podcast, and much of it has come true. And I believe
it actually missed. They went 11-5 because they lost to the Jets.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Browns are going to shock the nation and beat the Chiefs this weekend. Shock the nation. Cleveland, down there in Browntown, they're going to shock the nation, and they're going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, so
speak it into existence.
So I gotta admit, I would be lying a little bit if I didn't say I was a little bit worried just because of how good the Browns looked last week. But with that being said, I mean, I think Patrick Mahomes is just too good, man. I think that this is going to be a really, really good game.
Oh, by the way, Baker and him played one of the best college football games.
Oh, it was like 2,000 combined yards. Like actually,
it was like 75.
I'm pretty sure it was actually like 1,700.
Yeah, that was a ridiculous game. But I'm super excited about this game. I think the Browns are firing on all cylinders.
Oh, they're definitely firing. They're dangerous.
The culture
bro.
has changed. My guy Steve Stefanski's
They're not the
back.
same old Browns, man. They're not. This is not the same old Browns team. With that being said, I hate you, Chase Claypool, and I hate you, Sammy Watkins, because both of these dudes go on social media talking about.
The fire.
We ain't got no comp. We ain't got no bro. The Cleveland Browns have been disrespected for like 2 decades. They are hot as any team in the league, bro.
Chip on the shoulder.
The chip is enormous. They just absolutely whooped the Steelers without their head coach and like Denzel Ward and 2 other really good players.
Yep.
This is the fact that the Kansas City's favored by 10. I won't even get into that.
I'm psyched about this game just because I just want someone to shock the nation,
I'd cry. I'll cry
if the Browns lose. I will be here for the Super Bowl. I will cheer for the Chiefs, and I'll celebrate like no other.
Yeah.
Just because, hey, I like to have a little bit of fun, but that's not saying.
But with you grew up in Lawrence, Kansas. I mean, where we live, 45 minutes from Arrowhead Stadium.
Yeah.
Obviously, if the Chiefs are playing in the Super Bowl against anyone other than the Dallas Cowboys, and you're with 25 Chiefs fans, you are going to root for the Chiefs, and
I'm going to host a party,
I will host a party at your house.
That's happened before.
Yeah.
I definitely, and more or less, I just like to, going to the parades and crap. That stuff's fun. Obviously, with COVID, it's a little bit different, but I think it will still be a kind of a cluster of people super excited, and I'm not opposed to going downtown again.
I don't know. Would downtown be a thing with COVID?
Did you see Tuscaloosa after Bama won?
I mean, Bama is different than Lawrence, Kansas.
Man, I don't know. At least Kansas City would be crazy.
I think there'd be people there. I'd mask up, but I might go. To be honest,
I'm gonna get one of those big blow up bubbles.
Yeah.
You know, like the ones you use in the pool toys. I saw a guy at the Lakers championship parade doing it. So when they celebrated, so I was gonna run around in that, feel real safe.
Okay.
But I'm very excited for this game.
I didn't get my prediction, but I will go. I'm not gonna go against the Chiefs. I'll go Chiefs narrow. I'll go.
Okay.
I'll go right in that 30, 35, maybe 38, 31 Chiefs.
I'm gonna go 34-27 Browns.
Well, the Chiefs ain't scoring 27 points.
But guess what? If you give Mahomes the ball back with 11 seconds left, he will score a touchdown.
I don't think he ever hasn't. So
every time. Guess what? I'm not looking for stats. I'm looking to shock the nation one weekend for the rest of your lives. Go out there, do it.
I will not be watching the rest of the playoffs if the Chiefs lose.
Hey, we will be a Browns podcast officially.
I will
have to have a special.
The Browns
will
absolutely have my respect though. It won't be like things like I hate the Patriots when they beat us. If I want anyone to beat us, I want the Browns to beat us.
For sure. All right, getting into the college football playoff real quick. I think no matter if you wanted to admit it or not, we all saw this coming.
You put money on Ohio State. I
did,
watched you do it.
I did put money on Ohio State.
Straight up,
mostly
no line.
Because someone was like,
you got peer pressured into it.
You won't do it. Yada, yada, yada.
Basically, what happened was Bryce was trying to bet with our friend the line. He was trying to give himself the points.
Guess what? It wouldn't have mattered.
He didn't get it, and they lost by like 30. So, yeah, we all saw this coming. Saban's the GOAT.
And I paid for it, so it's okay.
Bama 2020, LSU 2019. Who you taking?
Taking LSU strictly because I think their quarterback is stronger.
I think their quarterback is better.
They have a better quarterback.
Wide receivers are better. Defense is probably better. They're probably better.
And they're going to have more draft picks.
That LSU team is just once in a decade.
The Bama 20, I'm stealing this from another podcast because all I do is listen to podcasts, but the Bama 2017 recruiting class is after this draft is going to have 10 players drafted in the top 50 in back-to-back seasons.
That ain't okay.
Total.
That ain't even right, bro.
That's crazy. So I would like to see a little bit of fairness come back to college football, but it's always fun to watch, even just the bowl games. I'm all for it. And you know what? There is the Clemsons of the world. There is the Ohio States of the world that get one every now and then. But Bama's king.
Bama's the
Saban
king.
is king.
Bama's been the king.
By the way, this just in, as we're dropping the pod, Bill O'Brien is expected to become the offensive coordinator for the Browns.
That just happened?
Or not for the Browns, for Bama, yeah.
Bill O'Brien?
Yeah, it was either going to be Bill O'Brien or Adam Gase.
Adam Gase would have been.
It's going to be Bill O'Brien. Guess what? Everyone that's been their OC has gone somewhere and been a head coach again.
He's probably going to be really good.
Yeah, he's going to be great. You go there, get fixed.
He literally went from the head coach and GM of the Houston Texans, who was a playoff team, Super Bowl contender, to the offensive coordinator at Alabama.
Yeah, but guess what? He's going to get fixed and go get another job. I mean, he probably could have got he's still going to get paid from the Texans. I mean, it's kind of just get your foot back in. Literally, there's an endless list of the people that have gone. I mean, Sark is the latest example.
There's so many.
Lane Kiffin, Kirby Smart.
There's so many.
All these OCs that go and they have great careers.
Absolutely pump out OCs, bro.
And they're all become
Elite.
good head coaches.
Yeah.
Sarkisian called an insane game. His scheme is great. I'm excited to see what he calls what he does in Texas. Texas has to be the worst job in the country because if you lose 3 games, you're gone.
Yeah. It's so true. It's so true.
That's insane. But college football playoff, great. We're excited to see what Billy O'Stooge does for Bama. And obviously, Bama going forward should be the favorites for the next 10 years.
10 years.
NBA talk real quick. James Harden, as of tonight, has been traded to the Nets in a huge deal. Basically, a lot of players moved, but Karis LeVert ends up on the Pacers. Victor Oladipo ends up on the Rockets. The Rockets get 4 first-round picks.
Jared Allen and someone else went to the Cavs, right? The Cavs
Allen
basically gave up
Cavs.
nothing.
Yeah. Just
Cavs got better.
One of those situations where, I know, but they have serviceable bigs. They have Andre Drummond, JaVale McGee. And the Cavs are playing really good basketball right now, so maybe you just upgrade from JaVale.
Yeah. Jared Allen's solid.
Have Jared Allen off the bench. But I'm excited by this, but I just want to say, for my personal beliefs, I think Kyrie Irving and James Harden. By the way, Kyrie Irving's out for personal reasons. I don't want to diss him for any of that, but it just seems like going 0 dark 30 and not telling anybody what's happening.
I mean,
at least be up front.
My parents always raised me to not do that type of stuff. You know, it's just kind of weird.
Well, I think if it's a serious personal reason,
just say I got real family issues. You know, don't just not say anything.
But I genuinely think him and Harden. People think Russ.
They
is
might
toxic.
kill each other.
I don't think they'll kill each other. I think they're just that team's just going to implode. I think people think Russ is toxic. People think CP3 is toxic because these people play with Harden and they get ousted. But Harden's the toxic one. I think him and Kyrie are toxic players.
Russ is also toxic, but I think Harden.
It's such a bad take, bro. I mean, he made Paul George a legitimate MVP candidate. You don't watch basketball. You have no say in this.
I've watched Russ though, and this dude is a walking brick.
I don't think that makes you toxic. I think he tries to do too much, but he's
good.
not. He doesn't do things maliciously to make his team worse. And what Harden
He doesn't mean to be toxic. I'll put it that way. Harden means to be like he literally what he said yesterday was like him literally intentionally being toxic. It's a different type. I say Russ is toxic because I just don't think Russ is good. James is actually good. He just sucks. What he said last night sucked.
And he's averaging 15 and fat on purpose, so they'll trade him.
Yeah, he literally got fat on purpose. Isn't even playing good.
On purpose. Because at the beginning of the year, he's dropping 40 a game. He's not in a slump. He's never had a slump like that. He just doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Oh, we're not good enough. I mean, that's the worst. Kids look up to you. It's the worst
9
mentality
games.
ever.
And literally, John Wall, super respected, is 9 games, bro. DeMarcus Cousins, 9 games, bro.
But that team has good pieces moving forward. They have an expendable player.
They're getting younger. I know John Wall and Cousins are old, but Christian Wood looks good. Oladipo is solid. I mean, dude. I like what they did. If you got Fat James that doesn't want to be there,
you got all the picks.
Trade his ass. It doesn't matter. They're not contending anyways. Yep. Trade his ass.
Agreed. Melo Ball has been tearing up the league, playing great. Got his first triple-double. Youngest player to ever do it. Passes his brother and Markelle Fultz for the best.
He's already better than Lonzo.
Oh yeah,
he's already better than Lonzo.
He had more
literally right now. He is a better player than Lonzo.
He had more pure skill coming in, but definitely.
God, dude, I was such a Lonzo fan when he was at UCLA. He was electric, bro. He's broken. It sucks.
I don't think he's broken. I just think he's an old school point guard, and he's not a scorer, and you just need to appreciate him for what he is because he plays great defense.
So good,
he's a great
bro.
facilitator, but he's not a great shooter.
It sucks because LaMelo's it's gonna be kind of like Zion with them being like Sports Center. It's gonna be like LaMelo Center, but I mean, dude, he's awesome.
I'm okay
with it. I'm okay with it. I love seeing LaMelo
also,
and Zion.
watch every episode of Ball in the Family ever. Greatest show on TV or on Facebook.
Yeah, so we love him, LaMelo Ball. He's our age.
He is our age. That is weird. It's going to be weird being fans of players that are our age.
Or younger.
That's going to start being weird.
Yeah, I don't know. That is going to be weird when I'm like older and a KU basketball fan and I'm like rooting on these 18-year-olds.
I mean, we're almost already doing it.
We are. Yeah, we're probably older
Bryce
than people
Thompson,
on the roster.
Kate Cunningham.
Yeah, it's weird. It definitely makes me feel old.
All right, that's interesting. But anyways, that's the sports talk for the week, man. Lots of great stuff going on. Lots of great NFL stuff. We got a little bit into the NBA. Like we said, as the NFL cycles out, we'll become a mostly NBA podcast as well as talking about NFL offseason stuff. The NBA is exciting, but it's not as exciting as playoff football. We can all admit that.
Oh, the one thing I wanted to say, I just wish trades in the NFL happen like they do in the NBA.
And free agency.
Dude,
it's
NBA,
all more exciting.
NBA trades and free agency are incredible.
I remember NBA.
The actual league itself.
Sit there, watch it.
Like if the NFL was like that, bro, this shit would be a reality TV show.
Well, that's what it is. Hashtag this league.
This league,
insane.
bro. I just wish the NFL was like that. But that's the only part I really love about the NBA is the trades and free agency. It's the best part.
The offseason is better than the season.
It is. Is it not? It is. It actually is until the finals. The finals are lit, but other than that, the offseason is better.
And also, last thing in the NBA, they may need to move to a bubble. They're having crazy COVID cases.
Yep.
Their contract tracing, it's like, unlike the NFL, it's like if you guarded this player, you're also in contact tracing. A lot of players are upset about it. I'm thinking they're a Fight Island situation. Go back down there to the bubble. It's not going great right now.
Bubble worked awesome. So
the bubble worked awesome, but I think players don't want to spend a whole season there. I think it's just mentally taxing. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do, though, because all the other leagues have figured it out. We hope they can figure it out. The NFL had their fair share of hiccups, and guess what? They played every regular season game, and the playoffs look like they're fine.
Yep.
Anyways, we're now going to draft. We're drafting. This is producer E's idea, or as Aiden said, E the prod. But this is going to be our favorite shows, early 2000s kid shows, basically from our childhood.
Growing up.
I think this is the best.
This is the best draft. I mean, this is an incredible. I think we did like snacks, munchies, and that was fire.
That was good.
But this is great because there are so many good TV shows growing up. All right, you got the coin you're gonna flip. I'm gonna roll with heads per usual.
All right, heads. Great flip.
Brutal flip.
Give me tails. Tails.
It's tails. Yep. I've lost like 6 consecutive weeks.
Not great at this. All right, number one has to be my number one. I'm going Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, the original, the
there.
OG.
100%. That was my number 2.
Great.
Number 1. I don't know if I'm going to get slandered for this. I actually might. Zoe 101.
Dude, not a bad show.
No, it's a really good show.
Like,
I loved it.
I'm telling Aiden, like, literally, you could tell me any of these, and it's just...
They're all good. I have 10
this,
banger shows on here, bro.
You get in this mindset where you want to live where these people live. You want.
Oh, I wanted to. I don't know where this little like 13-year-old like housing deal was for Zoe 101, but I wanted to be in it.
Where
so
was
bad.
it, Boo? All right, it was at Pepperdine University.
It was at a college. What was it? It was like called like PCU, PCA, Pacific Coast Academy. Yeah. God. It was just lit.
All right, for my second pick, I'm gonna take. This is tough, but I'm gonna take Kickflip and Grind. We're now back to Zeke and Luther.
Okay, I'll let you have that one.
I had a skater dreams back in the day.
Definitely solid. It wasn't on my list because there's just so many good ones, but it was good.
It made me want to be a boarder, dude.
Disney Extreme.
And
is that what it was called?
Disney XD.
Disney XD.
I tried to be a skateboarder for about a couple of years. Never really panned out.
What was it? You had the little. Wasn't a skateboard.
I had a penny board.
The penny board, but it was also the long board.
Oh, I have
the
both.
long board was the worst.
Do you remember?
Bro.
Were you with me?
You used to ride that
when
thing.
I busted my ass riding the penny board.
Probably not.
I was riding it to lunch, and I was in front. There was a Spanish class learning outside, and I got on a crack and just busted my ass.
Please, okay. I cannot help myself but make you tell this story. Tell the story of you riding your hoverboard.
Okay.
To Wingstop during lunch, in it getting hit by a car. Ladies and
Okay.
gentlemen, the stage is yours.
All right, real quick. It was freshman year. Didn't have a car, but I had the hoverboard, man. I had that sick blue hoverboard. Got it in 8th grade. I loved it. It was a great mode of transportation for me. Everyone made fun of me. Guess what? Take 2 of these and call me in the morning. I don't care. I loved riding it. I'm riding to Wingstop, which was about 2 blocks.
You
from
went
school.
there at least once a day for about 6 months.
I was the godfather of the $5 meal deal. They
took it away, and then you told them basically they had lost your service and
Yep.
respect.
The manager, I will not name his name, but him and I not on great terms. He's
not
also
on not on speaking terms.
He's also still mean to me when I go DoorDash there. He won't let me fill my water bottle ever. Anyways, I'm riding over by Centennial School, in front of Centennial School. Hit a bump. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hoverboard goes flying into the street. Just gets yammed by a minivan. Just gets absolutely yoked.
I would do anything to go back in time and have gone with you to lunch that day.
And then
That would
I
have
had
been
to
the best
carry
moment
it
of my
back.
life.
Broken.
It shattered. Like the whole thing is like it doesn't work, right?
It does not work.
Yeah.
That was a very interesting time, but learned
That's
a lesson.
so funny, bro.
And the lady felt horrible, but it was kind of funny.
Did you have
And
hoverboard insurance?
I did not have hoverboard insurance. Luckily, I grew out of that phase pretty quickly.
As soon as it got hit, you had to. You were forced out of that.
I think it worked for a little bit longer, but then it started smelling a little smoky.
Yeah,
so I stopped bringing it to school.
Yeah.
It's under the bed in the guest room.
All right, so somehow we ended up on that topic during our.
It's a great story.
We're just flashing back to the childhood in this segment. Number 3, this is some goat talk. Drake and Josh.
Oh my God, how did you get that?
So good.
I wanted that so bad.
It's so good.
Such a good show.
So good, bro. I could still watch it to this day. The
I
laugh
still do.
tracks. You got young Megan, who then grows to be iCarly.
Megan.
I mean, this is an iconic show, bro.
All right, I'm gonna have to go because you got that. You know what? No, I'll say that. I'll say that for later on. Get some value, but I'm gonna go with. Let's see here. I'm gonna go with Gravity Falls.
Solid.
Dude, that show was great.
See,
It's like
but
one of the few
also-
cartoons I like.
Also wasn't on my list, but it was like also so good.
It
Like
was so
I
good.
loved it. Okay. So for number 3, he already did Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. I was gonna do Sweet Life on Deck.
You can take it.
I'm not
take it.
I'm not going to because I think there's just so many other good options, and we've already kind of addressed the Zach and Cody deal. But so I went Zoe 101, Drake and Josh. I'm going Wizards of Waverly Place.
Great show.
Another such a good show. We were
Good
talking about it
show.
earlier. The movie is so good. It's Oscar worthy. It's
I
so good.
supremely disagree with that.
It's
but
so
it
good.
is not a bad movie and a great TV show.
A really good TV
I
show.
definitely wanted their life. They could just anything
yeah.
would happen.
Yeah.
All right, my next pick. This is pick number 4.
Yeah.
I'm going with Jesse.
It's on mine.
Dude, I
Very
love it.
valid. So solid.
And just hang out in Central Park.
And the
Rest in peace,
loft was
Cameron
so
Boyce.
sick. Oh man, bro. That was like the only thing I knew him from was Jesse.
I think it was the only thing he was in.
He was a pretty big actor.
He
I'm
was
pretty
in like
sure.
Disney Channel movies.
No, he started growing into other stuff before he died.
All right,
he was
well,
a decently
That's
big
definitely
actor.
a rest in peace. But that was a
Yeah.
that was a
We
stellar
grew up
show.
with that man.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
He grew up with us.
Yeah,
What
he
a good
did.
show, though.
Really good
seriously.
show. Next up, I'm gonna go my first little cartoon, Fairly Odd Parents. I love this show.
Dude,
I loved
good
this
value
show.
in the fourth
Very
round.
good value. I
Very good
loved
value.
this show.
great show.
Timmy Turner was the best.
That was a funny show. I'm gonna go. I knew you were gonna pick this, so I let it fall. iCarly.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about wanting to have somebody's life. They got the internet TV show. I
The
was an
room was so
aspiring
sick
YouTuber.
too.
They had a sick loft too. And
Yeah.
it's like her poor brother who's like a failing artist, and they live in like the biggest Los Angeles apartment I've ever seen. Where are they?
Seattle.
Seattle. Oh, Seattle
It
apartment.
was so
Dang.
sick though.
It was sick. And then they had like the guy that sold they had spaghetti tacos. And
The
they
dude who
guy
had the
that-
bagels, but like instead of the Tebow, but instead of the bagels going like with the hole through the stick, he put them on the other way.
That show is so goofy. Gibby. Reminds me
Gibby!
of a lot of things from the childhood, but that was a great show.
All right.
All right, round 5. What are you
my
taking?
last. I got options all over the table, man.
There's some good ones left.
I'll go Good Luck Charlie. I liked this show.
Good luck, Charlie.
I liked this show.
That was a good show.
It was a good show.
On
Other
my
honorable
list.
mention, Kicking It and Total Drama Island. Both bangers.
Total Drama
But
Island.
There's so many.
Kick Batowski.
Yeah.
Sweet Life on Deck, as you said. Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah, so many, man.
I was kind of a
There's
Corey
so
in the
many
House
more.
guy back in the day.
That's So Raven was like a little bit before my time.
That's So
I never
Raven.
really watched that.
Bunked. That was lit.
It was
Watched
called,
that
like,
when I was like
it was called like
15.
one of them was called like Sunny something. I
Sunny
don't
with a
remember.
Chance.
Yeah.
Man, Disney and Nickelodeon just didn't miss.
Dude,
I loved
ever.
all those
Whenever they
shows.
came out with a new show too, it always banged. Like it literally.
Lab Rats.
Oh, see, but also good. Super Ninjas. We didn't even talk about that. If you know what, I was getting flamed for that earlier pretty hard. But if you know what Super Ninjas is, you're elite for one. But yeah,
I'm trying to think. Johnny Test.
yeah, there's so many. They're all so good.
All right, so I would say it's definitely one of our best drafts ever.
Maybe the best.
Yep, got into a lot of pro sports talk, got into a lot of NFL, NBA, and yeah, guys, we're excited to keep this going. We're gonna do everything we can. Always leave your feedback if you want to add us on Twitter, if you want to comment on our posts. Keep listening. We got on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe. We're also on all podcast platforms, and we appreciate you listening to the episode. We'll see you soon.
Peace.
Peace.